My pants often pull down my backside when I sit. How do I remedy this? Hi everyone, I'm Glenda with SureFit Designs, whimsically known as Glenda the Good Stitch, and I'm here to answer that question for you. My pants often pull down my backside when I sit, and what do I do to fix it? In these two videos, we're going to talk about number one, the situation, and in the next video, I'll talk about 5 different ways to lengthen the back crotch curve if you need it. But first of all, I would like to talk about the situation itself, and that's that your pants might pull down your backside when you're sitting down. Well, for those of you who are familiar with SureFit Designs and have measured yourself for your pants, you'll know that one of the measurements we do is crotch length. And for those of you who aren't familiar with SureFit Designs, I'll just review this very quickly. There is another video complete on measuring and how to measure for pants. So this is just one quick review on doing the crotch length measurement for those of you who are new. The one thing that I'm going to ask you to do is tie a 1-inch band around your waist where you'd like the waist of your pants to sit on your body. And then you need to measure from your center front, from the bottom of your waistband in the front to the bottom of your waistband in the back. And you're going to have to pardon my lump here for the microphone pack. So you're going up to the bottom of the waistband in the back. And then you do this little sit me down like this. And when you sit down, for some of you, sometimes this tape measure will actually scoot down your backside. And then you have to stand back up and ask yourself the question, how does that feel within my crotch? Because it's that crotch length that we're going to work with to determine a front crotch length and a back crotch length. Because normally your back crotch length is approximately 2 inches longer than your front crotch length. And I do know that in some of you, it can be even more than 2 inches. But what the SureFit Designs instructions tell you to do is take your total length, divide it in half, and then take 1 inch away from half measurement and take that 1 inch and give it to the back measurement. So the front now becomes 1 inch shorter, it becomes 2 inches shorter, and the back becomes 2 inches longer than the front, which again is pretty common. So let's say you had a 28-inch total length, you'd end up with 13 inches for length in the front and 15 inches for length in the back. Okay, so once you've got that done, and of course the other measurements, and you've drawn off your SureFit Designs pants pattern, and you've made your test muslin, now you put them on, and you stand in them, sit in them, walk around, etc. And generally, they feel pretty comfortable. But when you sit, they have a tendency to pull down your backside. Well, why is that happening? Well, let's first of all take a look at your body. I've got some illustrations here that I'd like to go over with you. And the first one is just a standing body. And the arrowhead there, or the arrow, is describing that there's your waist and your crotch for your pants is coming underneath your buttocks, and that's in a standing position, and all is well, and your pants are fitting you well. But now you go to sit down, and what happens is, you can see in this illustration that I've done, is that you spread. And depending on your body shape, you're going to spread lengthwise and you're going to spread some crosswise. And of course, the bigger your booty at the back, the more you're going to spread. And so what's happening is your pants are pulling down your backside, which is shown to you in this next illustration. So instead of staying up at your waistline, those pants actually dip down in your back. And it's because your body is taking and saying, I need fabric as I sit. And so it's pulling it down away from your waistline. Now, this can happen depending on the fabric that you use. And with a woven fabric, which is typically what we test our pants out of, you will likely find more of this situation happening. So what I'd like to do now is show you a couple of examples on myself. In this first pair of pants, this is just it's a suede fabric, and it's I think a synthetic of some kind. It has zero give crosswise and absolutely no give lengthwise. So you can tell that this fabric isn't going to move with me when I sit. And I finished it off with a standard 1-inch waistband. So here is a photograph of me when I'm sitting in the pants and when I'm standing in the pants. You can see that when I sit, yes, they do pull down my backside a little bit, but most everybody likes to have their pants looking good when they're standing. That, of course, is going to depend on your personal situation. In a case where you've got a job or you're at home and you seldom sit, you're running around all the time, and you're always in a standing position, you're going to want your pants to look best on you when you're standing. And then when you sit, you put up with a little bit of that discomfort of that fabric pulling down as you spread. But you might also have a job where you're sedentary, and so you're sitting most of the time. Or perhaps you're handicapped and you're confined to a wheelchair. Well, obviously, you're going to need that extra length in your back crotch so that you do have more comfort when you're sitting. But typically, all things being equal, we generally like our pants to fit us best when we're standing. Now we bring in another variable, and that's knit fabric. So with these, here I've got a pair of leggings, and this fabric has stretch lengthwise as well as crosswise. So there's lots of give to this legging fabric. And how I finished these off was I brought the waist edge up, 1 inch. I added 1-inch wide elastic and then just turned it over. So there's lots of give everywhere. Let's take a look at what they look like on me when I'm sitting and when I'm standing. So you can see they might dip down just a hair, but it's actually very, very little. And now I'm going to show you a photograph of the two sitting positions side by side. So there I am sitting in the woven fabric pants, and I'm sitting in the stretch knit pants right beside it. So you can see that the woven pants pull down more than the stretch pants do. And that's just something you have to say to yourself. What do I like to live in? Is it a knit fabric that I prefer? Or do I like a woven fabric? And then I have to deal with that and say, am I typically standing during the day or am I typically sitting during the day? I want to show you a couple more pairs of pants that I've made. And this one now is out of a fabric that has a little bit of crosswise stretch. It had about 3 to 4% lycra in it, but no vertical stretch in it. And how I finished off this waist edge, there's no waistband on it, even though it's a woven fabric. What I did was I built the waistband or the waist edge up 1 more inch, and then I did zigzag in a piece of 1-inch wide elastic right here, and then just turned it over. It's a similar application to the leggings, except for it's not stitched down all the way around. But unlike the leggings, it only has a very little bit of stretch in the crosswise direction. And they're still comfortable to sit in, but they do give a little bit more or pull down a little bit more when I sit. But now we'll take a look at these linen pants. And they have absolutely no give whatsoever. So no crosswise stretch, no lengthwise stretch, and how I finished them off was, again, without a waistband. This is the natural waist edge, and then I drew a shaped facing that is sewn on to the inside. And there you can see the inside seam of that facing. And so the reality is that when your pants pull down your backside, you really have to think about a number of factors. Number one, what is your body like? Are you heavier? Are you thinner? Do you have lots of buttocks? Do you have big cheeks? Do you have drop cheeks? There's just so many different things that can be the situation with your body. And what's your daily activity like? Are you normally standing or are you normally sitting? And how do you want your pants to look when you're standing? And of course, the other thing is then we'll take a look at the pattern and we're going to take a look at the different things that we can do, and then you have to make the decision based on the fabric that you're going to be making those pants out of. So if you've enjoyed this video, and I certainly hope that you have, I do invite you to join the SureFit Designs community if you haven't already. And that's very easy to do in 3 simple steps. Number 1, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Make sure you like it and comment, and all the buttons to do those things are found below this video. Number 2, make sure that you've signed up for the SureFit Designs newsletter and join our SureFit Designs community. Just go on over to surefitdesigns.com, and at the bottom of pretty much every page is a form where you can enroll to start receiving the SureFit Designs newsletter. And of course, when you do, there are free getting started gifts. And quite recently, we just opened up a Facebook group page. It's facebook.com/groups/SureFit Designs. And we have people from all over the world who are photographing and showing their SureFit Designs projects and asking questions, and everybody is interacting with one another. I invite you to join.